Hello, I am here to give you my real-world, honest, long-term review of the Peak Design Everyday 5L Sling Bag. Uh, I looked at a lot of YouTube reviews before buying this bag, and they all had glowing reviews talking about all the cool little design details and elements about this bag, and it really sold me on it, so I decided to go ahead, plunk down the cash for it. It wasn't exactly cheap. But it definitely seemed really cool. But a lot of those reviews didn't really seem to talk about using this bag in the real world every day, like the bag is called. And so after using this thing for about 6 months, I carried this for about 2 weeks straight, trekking through some remote villages in India. I took it to Turkey, to Israel, and of course, I'm using it every day out here in the streets of downtown LA where I live. And I do have some gripes about it after using this in the real world. So again, there are a lot of things I do like about it, but if you want to hear, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the gripes, because if you want to hear about all the good stuff, you can look at any of the other million reviews of this bag that are out there. So first of all, my first gripe is this front pocket. It's really too small to use for anything really useful. For example, if you have a camera actually in here, if you don't have a camera in here, then it's a little bit more flexible. But if you have a camera actually in here and you got a smartphone with a case on it, it's a little bit of a tight fit getting it in here. And you can see it's like imprinting on here. That's how tight it is. So it's not really useful for a phone unless you go maybe naked with no case. You can maybe fit a couple of boarding passes in here. These are tickets from like a tourist attraction. You know, it's useful for little things like that. Like you got a couple of these, you just need a place to stash it because it's just taking up space in your hands. That's fine, but it's not really useful for a phone like they kind of show you in their videos. So that's my gripe number one. Number two is this strap, it tends to get loose. And this is the thing that made me kind of feel like maybe these other reviewers didn't really use this thing. And so this extra little bit of strap, it does tend to pull out. And one day I was walking around in India and I heard a thud and boom, this whole thing just fell onto the ground. And it's because this strap got loose, pulled all the way out and out through this little clip. And that was that. So if you're actually using this bag every day, like the name says, then you should check this at least every day or every other day to make sure it's not slipping, because it does slip. But this bag still, it's full of these cool little features, like this little pocket right back here where you can stuff the extra bit of strap. And I like these little details like that. But you know what? This thing slipping out of this clip, that is also a really big detail that was maybe missed. Maybe my clip is just inferior or something, I don't know, but that's just something to watch out for. The third gripe about this thing, it's not really a legitimate gripe, but you can't comfortably fit a full frame DSLR in here. And I say it's not really a legitimate gripe because they really market this thing toward mirrorless users and compact DSLR users. So you know, they don't really say, oh yeah, you can put a full frame, 5D Mark, 4 in here. You won't be able to get a 5D Mark 4 in here. Canon, but it does work, with like a compact DSLR. This is a T3i, fits very comfortably in here. If you have something like my 6D Mark II, it fits in there, but only if there's like nothing clipped to the bottom, no like quick release plates or anything, no straps, then I can get it in, no problem. But this T3i fits in here, no problem, especially with the pancake lens. So again, not really a legitimate gripe because they don't say it's for full frame DSLRs, but it is that's just something to watch out for if that's what you're hoping to do because you want to travel light, which is why I got this bag. So things I do like about this bag, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know too much about fashion, but I think I think it looks pretty fashionable. It doesn't look like a typical camera bag that kind of screams out, hey, steal me, I've got camera equipment inside. It's not like all tactical or whatever. I don't really go for that kind of thing either. So I think it's just a nice bag with cool little design details like this leather handle on the top and this little aluminum hardware. It's a nice looking bag. And so That's definitely a thing I like about it. I do like the quick adjusting strap. I like to wear this bag kind of high up in the small of my back. That's what feels secure to me when I'm walking around. But then as soon as I like sit down on the bus or the subway, boom, I just loosen that thing and drop it right down, and like the seat can take up the weight. And then when I get up, you know, it's easy to put back up, and I really like that. It's very cool. The interior is very versatile. I like how it has these little flappy things, which it's not working for me right now on camera. Yeah, I like these little flappy things. I like this, you know, so like if I'm going super minimal, you know, with the pancake lens, I can just stick this in here like this. With a bigger lens, you can flip this side down and let the handle part of the camera take the weight right there, and that goes in nice and comfortably like that. And you can, you know, move these things around. You can, you know, fit like a small lens, like a nifty 50 or something in the bottom here, and flip this down, and then you can still put your keys right here, you know, stuff like that. It's really cool, very versatile, and I like it. Also, I like that this thing, it is weather resistant. This is like a waterproof zipper. It's weather resistant though. I wouldn't call it waterproof. You can't take it underwater, but like the last few days we've had some crazy thunderstorms out here in LA. Took it out in some pretty pouring rain, and it worked out just fine. So that's good to have. Now, how I use this bag for travel, I like to go super light, only the essentials. So like what I would do is like a T3i with the pancake lens goes in here. You could fit a small water bottle on this side. You could, you know, a couple other essential things you need to carry over here. This little pocket in the back, they say it's for a tablet, 7-inch tablet. I think, again, just like with the phone, if you had a case on it, it would be a little difficult to get in and out. But it is roomy enough to fit like a book like this. For travel, I actually like to put a travel pack of wet wipes back here. That's really nice to have. And so that's nice. And you can go super minimal and just carry like just the bare minimum of things. There's also this space here. You can put your spare SD cards, batteries. Again, you can't fit too much stuff in here if you got a big size camera in here, though. It just won't close too well. For a little bit around town with a little bit bigger camera, bigger setup, I actually take one of these flaps out. And then I can comfortably, in this space right here, fit a 6D Mark II with the 24-105 L, which is what I'm shooting this on right now, but that fits in there really comfortably like this. And then this side pocket here, it's still big enough to put, again, like a water bottle. You could put an extra lens in here. You can fit a speed light in here. Everything you need just to walk around for one day, one afternoon, you can do it. So that's pretty much how I use this. I like to travel light. I don't want to carry like, you know, my giant bag of everything. If I'm just, you know, going out to shoot some stuff on the street just to, you know, or, you know, just hang out with my family or whatever. So for these kind of things, I really like this bag. There's one other feature that they tout, which is this little clip right here. You can unhook this and thread it through this little hole over here, and it locks these zippers together so somebody can't like sneakily try to open it or whatever. For me, it's a little hokey and a little difficult trying to undo this and thread it through this little tiny hole. So for me, if I'm getting into some situation where, you know, like security is kind of a legitimate concern, I have this little camping carabiner. It's not a real climbing one. And, you know, if I get on the subway or something, I can just really quick clip this in here. Of course, it's not working for the video, but you get the idea. It's hard to do this one-handed, eh? You can clip this in here. And because this strap actually is for the Peak Design capture clip, which I'm never going to use. I thought I would like hanging my keys on this thing, but it's just too jangly and loud. I don't really like that. But anyways, that's just like another feature I'm not going to use. But anyways, like I said, I really like these little design details. This handle is great. This little thing to hide the strap is great, as long as you keep checking to make sure your strap's not going out. But that's it. My honest review of after living with this thing for about 6 months now.